Perpetuating lies and deception is the only thing that you seem to know.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're situated on this great, big, beautiful blue globe floating through the void of Yah's creation. It's Tuesday, the 16th of June, 2026. And my gosh, do you feel like you're standing up in a hammock with roller skates on, juggling chainsaws, trying to sort all this propaganda, gaslighting, and BS out? Yeah, me too.
You won't be trusted anymore.
All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tuesday edition, the Taco Tuesday version of the WTF Reports. I'm Dave vonKleist, WTF, with the facts. And if those facts make you exclaim WTF, well, then so be it. It's not as if we don't have enough reason to be exclaiming several expletive deleteds. But anyway, yeah, the hits just keep on coming. And by the way, as always, this broadcast is brought to you in part by the Wave Watch. And yeah, it's picking up steam. Yours truly's been screaming about this ever since they first released it when Linda Banber put it out. It was about 2.5 years ago. And I just jumped right on it because I've known about Rife technology for many, many years. Of course, that's based upon Tesla's technology, that frequency is everything. And yeah, I've been screaming about this for over 2 years. And now, what do you know? Some of the major podcasters are picking up on this. Yeah, Dr. Brian Ardis has picked up on it. Here's what he had to say.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Ardis, host of the Dr. Ardis Show, and this is an exciting special presentation about one of our amazing trusted partners that we have been collaborating with and using their devices and products, my wife and I both, for the last several years. So I'm very excited to have, once again, the inventor, the creator of the Wave Watch, of which I have both of them here. The new models and their new branding, color schemes. Look at these fancy little watches. They're amazing. And we use these and wear these every single day. And they emit sound frequencies that help to heal the body.
Yeah, that's right. And so yours truly been screaming about that too. And the man in America, Seth, how do you pronounce his last name? I forget. He's jumped on board, too.
That in the last few centuries, over 500,000 bells have been destroyed. There were literally bell graveyards. Now, the textbooks tell us that this was to use the metal, but if you've ever gone down this rabbit hole, you discover that the sounds that these bells made had amazing healing properties. There are even claims that certain regions with lots of these bells, church bells, etc., were mostly untouched by the bubonic plague. Now,
yeah, I mean, it goes on and on, but I just wanted to let you know that, the Wave Watch is not a bunch of hocus pocus, folks. This stuff is for real. And if you'd like to find out more about it, you can go to our website, TheWTFReports.com. The pop-up will take you right to an area where you can learn all about the Wave Watch, how and why this product is really rather remarkable. Now, I'm not here to say it's going to cure or treat anything, but it certainly ain't going to hurt. And they've got over 1,000 frequencies in there that can help with all kinds of issues that you may be experiencing. And they also have frequencies in there that are detrimental to the bad bugaboos, viruses, parasites, bacteria, stuff like that. So anyway, learn about it, check it out, read about it. And when you figure it out, pick one up through the WTF Reports. There's a hefty discount when you order through the website, and like I said, you will benefit from the use of the Wave Watch. Okay, where do we get started? There's so many different topics that I've touched upon over the past week or two, and sometimes I want to go back and revisit them because you really have to hit it home. And one of the things I was talking about last week was I was asking the question: are they trying to kill us? Are they trying to kill us? When I say they, I mean the powers that be. I mean the corporate structure, the corporate Borg. I mean, do they want us all to be healthy and happy and, and to be able to proliferate and have kids? And I don't think so. And I shared a whole bunch of audio clips last week, and I just came across another one. Yeah, RFK, of course, was having hearings in Congress, and the topic of the pokey thingies came up again. And of course, we've got the the childhood vaccines, the MMR. There you go. Measles, mumps, rubella. Well, the first M stands for measles. And the measles vaccine is under question right now. Now, the issue here is that, remember, we started hearing, 6 or 7 months ago, oh, my God, measles is making a reappearance. I can't help but think of that TV show. What was it? The Brady Bunch? Yeah, there was an episode there. I could pull that up, but there was an episode there where one of the kids comes down with measles, and he's sort of happy about it. Oh, cool, I get to stay home. And then they talk about inviting all their friends over so that they could all contract measles because that builds your immunity. Once you've had it, you're over it, and you never get it again. That's the way it works. But they don't want you to know that. And measles, how many fatalities have you heard about measles? Okay, well, I don't know who this doctor was. They didn't give us, let me see, this was posted by Valerie Ann Smith. And I don't remember who this doctor is. I'm looking for a name placard, but I didn't see one there. But anyway, he was testifying before Congress. And listen to the statistics. This is no-brainer stuff. Well, here, just listen.
Really, even one death is too many. And she said that there have been 2 measles deaths. Actually, she talked about the measles death, I think, in 2015. There actually was another measles death in this country reported by the CDC in 2003. So there were 2 deaths.
2 deaths from measles. Now, keep that in mind. You might want to write it down. 2 deaths from measles. All right?
Measles deaths between 2003 and the present. What didn't come out in the...
Okay, that's 23 years. 2 deaths from measles in 23 years. We continue.
Testimony is during that same period of time, again, this is from the Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System, there have been 127 measles vaccine-related deaths.
Oh, now let's do the math. 2 deaths from measles, 117 deaths from the poke.
So if we're worried about 1 death or 2 deaths from measles, what about 127 deaths
127.
from vaccine as a complication? And I didn't mention, but obviously, the flu vaccine has also been reported to cause deaths as well. So what about allowing people to exercise their religious exemption or a medical exemption so that they can avoid being forced to receive vaccines that could potentially be devastating or fatal?
Or fatal, yeah.
Really,
yeah, exactly. So I ask the question, are they trying to kill us? This is a no-brainer, folks. It's deeds, not words. Anyway, so I wanted to share that with you. And I'll probably get back to that issue. I've got a whole bunch of different posts here that they're all over the place. But I just wanted to throw that down there. We'll get back to the poke in a little while. But other issues that are going on, of course, we're hearing about the negotiations going on and a possible peace deal between, with the United States and Iran. And there is one particular organization that absolutely does not want that to happen. And I'll give you one guess of who that country is. And they're doing everything they can to disrupt and derail any peace negotiations whatsoever. As a matter of fact, it was reported yesterday that 2 Pakistani negotiators who were there to help work out this deal, they foiled a plot to assassinate the 2 of them. Yeah. And then there was an explosion, whether it was a bomb or a missile, that's yet to be determined, that went off very close to the hotel where these negotiators were staying. So there are forces at work that are desperate to derail these peace efforts. And again, I give you one guess as to which group or which entity or which country wants to keep on killing. Because it's what they do. Now, we all know what's going on in southern Lebanon. And by the way, Lebanon is part of the negotiation, although Israel doesn't want that. No. Lebanon is not on the table. We're going to do whatever we want with Lebanon, and you can't say anything about it. That's the attitude. Well, you know what they're doing in southern Lebanon? Yeah, the Israelis want to make sure that the Lebanese in southern Lebanon who have fled the area because of relentless bombings and killings, etc., so they fled north. So while they have basically evacuated the area, what's Israel doing to southern Lebanon? Listen to this.
We're here on the South Lebanese border where in recent days Israeli planes have sprayed what they described as a non-toxic substance across whole swathes of agricultural land, prompting UN intervention and raising fears of chemical contamination.
Okay, I'm going to pause it. They said it was a non-lethal, what did he say? Basically an inert chemical? Yeah, right.
In a landscape already scarred by war.
Initial laboratory analysis has now identified the substance as a herbicide banned in Lebanon and several other countries, one the World Health Organization says increases cancer risk.
Laboratory analysis results showed that the substance sprayed is the herbicide glyphosate, which could damage vegetation cover with direct repercussions on agricultural production, soil fertility, and ecological balance.
The ministry say this was neither accidental nor harmless, and one human rights group condemned the incident as a war crime.
The deliberate targeting of civilian farmland violates international humanitarian law, particularly the prohibition on attacking or destroying objects indispensable to civilian survival. Large-scale destruction of private property without specific military necessity amounts to a war crime and undermines food security and basic livelihoods in the affected areas.
A mayor from one of the affected border villages, himself an agricultural engineer, warned the concentration of herbicides sprayed poses a serious threat to farmland.
Recently, the enemy has sprayed highly concentrated herbicides along the blue line, covering the Aida al-Shab area and some nearby villages. This poses a serious threat to both the environment and plant diversity, as well as agricultural crops. According to analyses conducted by the Ministry of Agriculture in collaboration with reputable laboratories, this herbicide contains glyphosate at concentrations that far exceed permissible limits. This universal herbicide kills weeds. However, its application in high concentrations can lead to the death of crops, shrubs, fruit trees, and forest trees. Thus, the enemy is committing a crime aimed at destroying all life, especially the green cover, turning the land into a semblance of a desert.
The warning comes amid mounting evidence of long-term environmental damage. Since late 2023, thousands of hectares of forest and agricultural land have been destroyed by bombardment and white phosphorus use, according to Lebanese and international data. Independent reports estimate tens of thousands of olive trees have been lost, with soil contamination now threatening food security. Southern Lebanon's agricultural backbone, olives, tobacco, thyme and vegetables, already devastated by war, now face potential long-lasting chemical damage.
These actions will have a long-term impact on the soil and vegetation, the consequences of which will be felt for many years, as the destruction of perennial trees will lead to changes in biodiversity, soil pollution, and negative effects on the ecosystem. In light of the above, this spraying is considered a flagrant crime against vegetation, as within a few weeks we can expect to see manifestations such as yellowing leaves, tree dieback, and their death. This vegetation, which has developed over decades, is now disappearing due to the criminal actions of the enemy. Therefore, we call on international and human rights organizations, especially those concerned with green cover and the environment, to unite in holding this enemy accountable at all levels for its numerous crimes against the lives of humans, plants, and animals.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. This report, by the way, comes from RT Network, which is Russia Today. And again, I cannot emphasize it enough. If you want to get the news about what's going on in the world, you're going to be, consuming intellectual fecal matter if you watch the domestic networks. And of course, the alphabet networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, FOX or Fox or FO. And then, of course, there's Newsmax and One America News, and there's News Nation. You're not going to get the truth from any of them. None. Zip. Zero. They'll give you some somewhat accurate information in regard to, that B-52 that just crashed after takeoff. They're trying to figure out what happened. And I saw, oh gosh, that's a story in itself, because there's nothing left of that plane. The video flyover shows that entire plane, everything, landing gear, engines, everything, reduced to ash. I wonder what happened with that B-52. But that's I digress. The point is that you're not going to get any truth as far as international news from the domestic networks. You're going to have to go to Al Jazeera. You're going to have to go to RT. And I can't think of any other networks that are out there. I mean, if you've got another network that you trust, I would like to know who it is. So you can call in. Yeah, as a matter of fact, the phone lines are open, 215-867-8255. Where do you get your news that you find reliable? I want to know. I would really like to know. But anyway, I mean, these are crimes against humanity. And these are God's chosen people? What is wrong with America? Why won't they wake up? Why? I just don't get it. I just don't flamin' get it. Speaking of God's chosen people, Ben Gvir, I mean, he was speaking in his native tongue, which I don't understand. And
מדינת ישראל. אנחנו חייבים.
Okay, I could play it, but what he basically said, the translation says, and I quote, "We must continue destroying the houses of the Lebanese. We must continue expelling Lebanese from southern Lebanon. We must keep responding decisively with the expulsion of the Lebanese people." They're not, unquote, they're not even hiding it anymore. They're right out there. I mean, that is ethnic cleansing. Period. Done deal. Fin it, bitten it, out the door. What's it going to take for people to understand? Israel is not our greatest ally. It's our most feared enemy. And I'm sorry, you want to say I'm an anti-Semite? No, it's got nothing to do with Judaism. It has everything to do with Zionism. Oh, man, I don't know. I don't understand why people don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get it why you don't get it. I don't get it why you don't get it. I like that one. Oh, man. Anyway, let's see. There's even more stuff. I'm going to take a musical break because I was thinking about how do we get people to wake up? And I was talking about this last week. I think I mentioned it on the show yesterday. This whole discussion about the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, and Section 224, basically turning over, not turning over. I misspoke when I mentioned that. It's basically merging the U.S. military with the Israeli military. And I suppose that equates to turning it over, because we all know that Israel is pulling the strings of not all of them, I can't say that, but the overwhelming majority of our Congress and our Senate has been paid off or coerced or blackmailed by Israel. That is a fact. That is a fact. And I suppose they'll say, "Oh, you're an anti-Semite for saying that." You can't state a fact without being called an anti-Semite? No. It's got nothing to do with that. In fact, everything is so upside down, people don't realize that the Palestinians are the Semites. They're the ones, it's the Israelis who are anti-Semites. Anyway, again, I digress. I've been trying to figure out how to get people to wake up. I don't know. Is it by written word, by spoken word, by music? I don't know. But I did a song many, many years ago about waking up, and I guess it didn't have any effect. I'll try it again. Here it is. Yeah, that's my mouth drums right there. You
gotta wake up, wake, what's it gonna take? Do I have to shake you? Come on, you gotta wake up, wake doesn't take an earthquake. If you sleep, it'll be a mistake. You gotta wake up,
gotta wake up, wake awake. Doesn't take an earthquake. If you sleep, it'll be a mistake. Our times are quickly changing, hidden hands manipulating, circumstances so frustrating, righteous rights still legislating, our officials deviating, constitution liquidating, all the people hesitating, and I don't know what they're waiting for. It's so humiliating, plutocrats all calculating, operating, regulating, it's completely nauseating. Wake up, America, wake up, America, wake up, America. Come on, you gotta wake up, wake awake. What's it gonna take? Do I have to shake you? Come on, you gotta wake up, wake awake. Does it take an earthquake? If you sleep, it'll be a mistake. You gotta wake up, wake awake. What's it gonna take? Do I have to shake you? Come on, you gotta wake up, wake awake. Does it take an earthquake? If you sleep, it'll be a mistake. The trouble with our nation is a lack of education. There's a massive infiltration of revisionalization, internationalization, subtle indoctrination. There's so much disinformation, ridicule, demonization, and so much documentation that requires examination. That the only explanation is corruption in our nation. Come on and wake up, come on and wake up, come on and wake up, America. Come on, you gotta wake up, wake awake. What's it gonna take? Do I have to shake you? Come on, you gotta wake up, wake awake. Does it take an earthquake? If you sleep, it'll be a mistake. You gotta wake up, wake awake. What's it gonna take? Do I have to shake you? Come on, you gotta wake up, wake awake. Does it take an earthquake? If you sleep, it'll be a mistake. There are those full of ambition with a globalist position. They require the acquisition of our guns and ammunition, and they think that through attrition they'll defeat the opposition. They'll impose the abolition of the people who petition, but their plans won't reach fruition, cause America's position is a traitor's quick admission to the city mortician. Come on and wake up, America. Come on and wake up, America. Come on, you gotta wake up, wake awake. What's it gonna take? Do I have to shake you? Come on, you gotta wake up, wake awake. Does it take an earthquake? If you sleep, it'll be a mistake. You gotta wake up, wake awake. What's it gonna take? Do I have to shake you? Come on, you gotta wake up, wake awake. Does it take an earthquake? If you sleep, it'll be a mistake. To defeat the mass confusion, we must fight off the illusion that the wealth redistribution is the logical solution. We must stop the persecution of the ones with resolution, that the only sane solution is a peaceful revolution, and engaging in collusion will result in persecution. Yes, the logical conclusion is to keep our Constitution. Everyone complains about desperation, condemnation, population, confrontation, immigration, confirmation, irritation, decimation, reformation, desolation, degradation, dislocation, regulation, our corrupt administration. Free up our freedoms, liberate our liberty. Free up our freedoms, liberate our liberty. Everyone complains about fabrication, hesitation, aggravation, limitation, termination, tabulation, litigation, fragmentation, legislation, motivation, occupation, liberation, domination, vindication, usurpation, liquidation, refutation, and our Constitution's reformation. Free up our freedoms, liberate our liberty. Free up our freedoms, liberate our liberty. Everyone complains about medication, reprobation, toleration, radiation, vaccination, deportation, provocation, medication, transportation, population, subjugation, publication, and our control communication. Free up our freedoms, liberate our liberty. 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 Give back our freedoms, liberate our liberty. Give back our freedoms.
Take back our freedom.
Liberate our liberty.
It's up to us to liberate it.
taking back our freedom.
There you go. We're taking it back. That's it.
And liberating liberty. Talk about liberty. We're taking back our freedom. And liberating liberty.
Sunshine, baby.
We're taking back our freedom. And liberating liberty. We're taking back our freedom.
Yeah, we're going to have to take it back. They're not going to give it back, folks. You can write your letters and send your emails and make your phone calls, and you can join political groups, and you can go to the protest or the demonstration, and the only result of that is some guy's going to get double time in cleaning up after your mess. That's basically, whoa, okay, something else started playing there. Anyway, it's going to be up to us, folks. You know, they keep saying, you've heard it before, freedom isn't free. No, it's not. So if you're expecting somebody else to do it for you, it ain't gonna happen. It just isn't. You're dreaming. We, the people, have to make the moves. And I'm sorry, but, you know, like I said, you can write your letters and have your campaigns and do your emails and make your phone calls and go to the demonstrations and join political groups and go to the protests, etc. It's not going to work. Powers that be only understand one thing. They took your freedoms by force. The only way you get them back is by force. Simple as that. Simple as that. It really is. And I keep pointing out that they do not have your interests in mind. I mean, boy, excuse me, Senator Ron Johnson, bless his heart, he is exposing an awful lot. As a matter of fact, listen to this autopsy study. This is beyond belief. Listen to this.
And do you have any science to back up your opinion?
The best data are autopsies. So in the largest...
Oh, that's Dr. Peter McCullough. Excuse me. Yeah, he was being asked a question by Ron Johnson.
Autopsy series published to date. I know because I'm the senior author.
Listen to this.
Of all the deaths we examined, and we re-reviewed them. We had an adjudication committee. We had ways of arbitration deciding on did the vaccine cause death. The answer is, of these cases that came in for autopsy after vaccination, 73.9% of individuals, it was determined that the vaccine was the cause of death.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? 73% of the fatalities was because of the poke.
Author is Holscher and colleagues who's sitting right behind me.
What else do you need to know? What else do you need to be, made aware of? And like I just mentioned a couple minutes ago, Section 224 of the NDAA is basically merging the U.S. and Israeli military together. So they'll have access to all of our hardware, everything. And then in Senate Bill 4715, that's S4715 in Section 622, that basically merges the U.S. intelligence with the Israeli intelligence. You know, they keep on pumping it in your head. Israel is our greatest ally. And they use that as an excuse to merge the two of them. No, absolutely not. Israel is taking over this country. Just look at who is in charge of Big Pharma, who is in charge of the media, who is in charge of Hollywood, who is basically been promoting pornography online. Who has been in charge of Big Agra? Look at which group is in control. We have lost control of our country. We have lost our freedom to speak out against it. There's such a push right now. Anybody who criticizes Israel is being attacked. They're passing laws now. I mean, what is it? Was it 36 states now have laws that say that you cannot boycott Israel? You can boycott the United States. You can boycott anybody. But, oh, heaven help you if you do anything against Israel. And now in Florida, I think it is, if you criticize Israel, you can be arrested. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you out of your mind? And you keep saying Israel is our greatest ally? A lie told often enough becomes the truth. And by the way, there are more and more videos being posted. I saw when I'm looking at the replay right now of some IDF soldiers grabbing a teenage boy, wrestling him, and the kid keeps fighting, and so they take out a gun and shoot him dead. These are God's chosen people. Yeah, okay, yeah, right. Oh, and let me remind you that Israel has destroyed the mausoleum of Simon Peter, who is an apostle of Christ, in the village of Shammah in southern Lebanon. The mausoleum is almost 2,000 years old. And you Christians out there that say that are, Christian Zionists and you have to support, Israel. You people have lost your minds. Bat crap crazy. Anyway, time to take a break.
Get More Tank will save you money every month on gas. Get More Tank is a tablet with active ingredients that adds big mileage to every tank. Made in America, the Get More Tank formula is used by trucking companies and heavy industry. Now the Get More Tank formula is available to you. Get More Tank works in any gas or diesel engine, cleans your engine, lowers emissions, and you'll feel improved engine performance every time you step on the gas. Get More Tank works for cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, four-wheelers, mowers, and blowers. Hey, if you got an engine, then Get More Tank. Contractors, electricians, plumbers, painters, and lawn service companies, Get More Tank will save you money and extend the life of your engines. If you're an owner-operator running your big rig around the town or across the country, Get More Tank will save you money too. If you're a farmer, all of your equipment can use Get More Tank. A 5-pack on sale at GetMoreTank.com for just $22.22 plus shipping. Use the promo code REDPILL101 and get 10% off. Save your money, save your engine, save the earth at GetMoreTank.com. Get More Tank is EPA registered, doesn't void warranties, results vary.
And you can get more tank by visiting our website, The WTF Reports. If you click on the sponsors page, it'll take you down to an area where you can click on Get More Tank and learn all about this fuel catalyst. Now, you regular listeners know that I mention this every day because I use it every day. And the bottom line here is this stuff works. Right off the bat, as soon as you put the first treatment in your gas tank, you will notice that you have more power. That's because your fuel is being burned more efficiently. And that means it's a lot cleaner as well. So number one, you get more power. Number two, your engine is running a lot cleaner and more efficiently. And the biggie, number three, depending upon your make, model, year of vehicle and your driving habits, you will enjoy anywhere between 15 and 20% better mileage. Now, on the upside, if you get 20% better mileage, a $20 purchase gets you 5 Get More Tank tablets, 1 per tank full of fuel. You do the math, that means you spend $20, you save a tank of gas. I had to fill my tank yesterday. It was almost $70. And it's not even a big tank. So you're going to save a tank of gas if you start using Get More Tank. So what are you waiting for? This is a no-brainer. It's a win-win-win. So go to our website, TheWTFReports.com. Click on the sponsors page. Go on down and click on Get More Tank. And go ahead, do it. Get More Tank. All right, it's 40 minutes past the hour, whatever hour you're sitting in. I'm Dave vonKleist. These are the WTF reports, and I realize that I'm hitting on a lot of topics. I'm all over the map, but that's okay because there's so much going on. You can't help but be somewhat schizophrenic with all the news. But there was an interview. I found that this was really, really interesting. Iranian professor Mohhamed Mirandi was being interviewed by Sky News. And he was being accused of racism and vowed that Israel would hit much harder if it dares to strike Iran. Okay, now let me remind you, those who forget their history are destined to repeat it. Let me remind you that the buildup for the Iraq War, remember the Iraq War? Yeah, and that's back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Netanyahu was screaming about the WMD. Yeah, they've got the WMD. He's the one who provided the intel to GW and to Colin Powell, which convinced them that we had to go in there and bomb the snake snot out of Iraq. Well, you see, the Iranians, they know doggone well that Netanyahu's had his crosshairs on Iran all this time. And all this time, they've been preparing for it. They have underground facilities that are massive. They've been building them for decades, and they've been supplying them with their drones and their missiles and their hardware and stuff like that. They are prepared. They know what they're up against. They're not just up against Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel, because Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel are in control of the United States. So they knew that they were going to have to go against the U.S. hardware. So they've been preparing for that. Anyway, here's an interview with that Professor Mirandi did with Sky News. And I tell you, for Sky News, this went horribly wrong for them because they kept trying to push the narrative, and Professor Mirandi just laughed at them. Anyway, listen to this. This is, again, Sky News interviewing Professor Mohhamed Mirandi from Iran. Oh, man, they're in trouble.
Well, Professor Mohhamed Mirandi from the University of Tehran joins us now. Thank you very much for being with us, Professor. I just wonder, first of all, what has Iran achieved by this attack on Israel? Very few of the missiles got through. It, in effect, failed. Many people are calling it a humiliation for Iran.
I think that's a lot of wishful thinking on behalf of you and your colleagues at Sky News. It was a massive blow to the Israeli regime. And the history of this conflict doesn't go back to last year. It is 76 years of ethno-supremacism, ethnic cleansing, and this is a racist regime that you support. What the problem is that you cannot recognize that the difference between you and us is that you support racism and racial hierarchy, and we reject it. And the Israeli regime, if they dare strike back at Iran, we will hit them much harder next time. We will beat them into submission.
Well, they will strike back, won't they? No sovereign country can put up with having 180 ballistic missiles fired at them, so they will hit back, they will hit hard, and they could well hit your nuclear facilities, your oil production installations. They could cause Iran serious damage.
Listen, instead of the rhetoric, be real, because you're misleading your own people. Iran has countless underground missile sites with hundreds of thousands of missiles across the country. They were made after the U.S. invasion of Iraq and Afghanistan to deal with a potential war with the United States. So this puny regime, it is not a state, it is a colony. It is a racist, ethno-supremacist colony which the people call themselves the chosen people. Unlike you, we do not believe in chosen people. And the Palestinian people on that land who've been displaced and pushed into Gaza and who've been slaughtered regularly over 76 years, we will not stand for that. All people in the whole of Palestine must be equal. The Israeli regime, if they strike Iran, we will hit them much harder next time. And they can pretend that they got away, but we hit them very hard last night. We hit their bases. And unlike the Israeli regime, which constantly carries out slaughter and genocide and is carrying out a Holocaust in Gaza, we struck their military targets. Because unlike you, we actually care about human rights, not you.
Professor, let me just say that we're on the verge of an all-out war, or certainly a war between Israel and Iran. It could be a war that Iran loses. If Iran does lose that war, do you think that the current Iranian regime could survive a defeat? Because that is if what you say is right and Iran is going to hit back even harder, that could be where this all ends up.
Iran will not hit back harder. Iran will hit back much harder.
I'm going to pause that right now because the interviewer says, what if Iran loses the war? But he didn't ask the question, what if Israel loses the war? I mean, they just, can you smell the propaganda? Can you smell the slanted gaslighting here?
The head of the Iranian forces says Iran will target and destroy all of the Israeli regime's infrastructure. This was the tip of the iceberg. Iran will lose no war. The Israeli regime will. It is time for you and others to end your racism and to end your support for the superior race and to accept that all people in Palestine have equal rights and the Palestinian people have a right of return. Jews, Christians, and Muslims are equal. Unlike what you say, they are equal, and we will accept nothing less than that. The regime must go, and all people must be treated equally. Right. And if the only thing, there's no doubt that Israel will lose, but the only variable here is the United States. If the United States gets involved, have no doubt, the U.S. will be swept out of Iraq by the Iraqi resistance, and all its assets in the Persian Gulf will be destroyed.
Right. Professor. Okay, I'm going to pause it for a second. Did you hear what he said a second ago? He said all Jews, Christians, and Muslims are equal. Oh, my goodness. You know, it's funny because our Declaration of Independence says in paragraph 2, and I read, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, you don't misunderstand me. I don't believe in a regime that is going to kill students and kill people that stand up against it. No, I don't believe in that. Okay, but I mean, I've been looking at some of the posts by Ken O'Keefe, former decorated Marine. He's been over there in Iran. He's been he was at the school there, and was it Marib? How do you pronounce that? But anyway, the point is that the Iranians, they don't want this. They don't want this. The overwhelming majority of Iranians. I mean, I knew a bunch of Iranians when I lived back east in Connecticut. They were sweethearts. They were good people. You know, I mean, so this entire conflict is Bibi's wet dream. I hate to put it that way, but that's what it is. He wants the Greater Israel Project, which means taking over a good section of Libya and Lebanon, and the surrounding Yemen and Sudan and parts of Saudi Arabia. That's his wet dream, is to have Greater Israel for God's chosen people. And again, look at what they do. It's deeds, not words. Look at what the IDF does. They're slaughtering. Was it 83% of the casualties in Gaza are women and children? And even President Trump made a statement about that. I'll get to that in a minute. Let's finish up with Professor Mirandi here.
All those regimes that U.S. bases will be destroyed, and the oil and gas markets will cause a situation where the global economy will collapse and millions of people will be on the move. So be careful about making stupid mistakes, and the West should stop with its arrogance and get real for once.
Yep, that's the truth. That's the truth. Now, let me see if I can find that post. President Trump made the following statement. I believe he did. He said this yesterday.
Does not like them. And I'll tell you what, Israel's fighting Hezbollah too long and too many people are being killed. And you don't have to knock down an apartment house every time you're looking for somebody, because there are a lot of people in those apartment houses, and they're not all Hezbollah, that I can tell you.
Mm-hmm. So he's starting, or maybe this is all basically scripted in drama, etc., etc. I don't know. But the bottom line here is that the entire world hates Israel and the United States. We're not the good guys. We're not. Simple as that. As a matter of fact, there was a Brit that he's basically, let me see. Whoa, let me get that queued up there. I mean, we're under attack. The entire West is under attack. And again, I cite the short documentary. It's about 15 minutes long. It was published by Harrison Smith, and it's called The Eighth Front. You can do a search on YouTube. It'll come right up. Do a search for The Eighth Front. And all it is, there's no editorializing, no commentary whatsoever. It's all news clips and interviews with the people who are making these decisions. And over again, we keep hearing that the West is Edom, which is Rome, which must be destroyed in their minds. So they have to destroy all of Europe and all of the United States so that they can have their Mashiach return. And they're doing it by, all kinds of different ways. Yes, the forced migration, etc., the Mongolization and destruction of culture and heritage, that's all being done by design. Look up the Kalergi plan. I could cite that. I have an audio clip for that too. But anyway, here's a Brit who's basically saying the quiet part out loud. The only way we're going to be able to save our country and save our heritage is to do things, there's a saying that there are times when good people have to do bad things. And I'm sorry to say, but I think we're fast approaching that time. Here's a post from a Brit who sees the writing on the wall. And believe me, folks, you look at what's happened in Gaza, you look what's going on in South Lebanon, that's going to come home to roost because we are the Goyim. We are not human. We are animals in their eyes, which means that they don't have to pay any attention to human rights whatsoever. And again, it's deeds and not words. Here's this gentleman from Great Britain basically telling it like it is.
And who I want to be kept safe. And I try to explain to them and I try to make sure that they understand fully what is coming. A lot of people see the content and, they read the news and they see the viral videos of everything that's happening around us, the stabbings, the shootings, the rapes, the attempt beheadings. And in some cases, succeeded beheadings throughout Europe and, the whole world. And I try to, make them engulf what's heading our way. I think a lot of people are waking up to what's happening, but I don't think still that the majority of the population fully understands what is coming our way. Think of your worst apocalyptic movie, where everybody's out on the street, Walking Dead style, with weapons, trying to defend themselves from zombies. That is what's coming. That is essentially what's coming. We are being attacked by a plague, a dangerous infection of people that want to eradicate us, people that don't want to fit in with us. They don't like our culture, they don't like our religion, they don't like us, they hate us. They don't see our women having rights. To them, women have no rights. They just take as they please. Anyway, I try to make my friends, my family, be fully aware that in the near future, very, very soon, they will have to do things that they never thought they would have to do to survive. The population will have to do things that we were taught never to do because it's inhuman. There will come a time very soon where you won't ask for a war, but you will be dragged into one, not by choice, but by necessity, because you have to, because the survival of your very race and culture and your people will depend on it. The governments, I mean, look, people can blame the government as much as they want. But the fact is, it's not the government doing this. It's the people above the government that are dictating the orders, and these politicians are simply implementing them. That's what you need to understand. So, we can either sit around and wait for a couple more years, for Restore Britain to get in power. But the fact is, it's not the government that's making these changes. It's coming from above. And the only way that we stay alive as a European race, a native European race, is if we stick together and find our ancestral blood, our ancestral honor, dignity, strength, and cleanse our countries from this infection that has taken over.
Okay, I'm going to pause it for a second because he just said it. He said the quiet part out loud. It's not the governments. It's the people above the governments who are pulling the strings. And now I take a look at what's going on with our government here in the United States. And, of course, our government is made up by our senators and our congresspersons. Who's pulling the strings with them? And why won't the Epstein files be released? Have you put the puzzle pieces together? Who is pulling the strings? What entity, what group is pulling the strings? Have you figured it out yet? Is it our greatest ally?
I don't think reality is going to hit a lot of people until it is too late. It takes me back to the Lord of the Rings 3, the Return of the King, when Pippin is at Minas Tirith with Gandalf, at night, and you see the storm over Mordor. And Pippin goes, I don't want to be in a war, but waiting on the eve of one that I cannot avoid is even worse. That's where I feel I am now. I feel like I'm on the eve of a war that I don't want to be in, but I will have to be in because the good in humanity depends on it.
Depends on what? He didn't finish. He just stopped it. Like I said, there comes a time when good people have to do bad things. And I regret saying that. No, I don't regret saying that. I'm sorry to have to say that. But that's where we are, folks. And so many people, so many of my countrymen are suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. You can give them the facts. You can give them absolutely undeniable proof. And because it's been drummed into their head over and over and over and over again, that they can't shake the rhetoric, they can't shake the propaganda, because it's been drummed into their head from early childhood. But that's something that we're going to have to work really hard to overcome. And I'm working hard. I mean, I'm talking to people in my location here, in my community. And, there are some of them that are starting to get it. But we have to redouble our efforts, folks. Because if we don't stand up, what's the saying? You got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything.
We can't wait for you to start to get honest.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for today's Tuesday edition of the WTF Reports. If you value this information, I ask for your support. Do business with our advertisers. Go to our website, TheWTF Reports, and get more tank or pick up a Wave Watch, or you can even make a donation through our GoFundMe. Because I hate commercialization. I hate having to hawk stuff. And, I don't want to come across like it's all about making the money, because that's not why I'm here. I have better things I'd rather be doing. But anyway, that said, that's going to wrap it up. If you're listening on BitChute or Rumble or YouTube or Facebook, click like, share, subscribe, and spread the word with word of mouth. That's the best way to get the word out. That said, take care, folks. God bless you all. Stay safe, stay free, and God willing, I'll be back again tomorrow.